All right, hello wine drinking people. We are back with what I've had to drink yesterday with our first reviews from 2014. And, you know, most suppliers are off the first week of the year, but hey, our friend Carrie from Duckhorn Winery, man, she does not waste one bit of time. She said, "Are you available Friday? Me and Fran are going to stop by to see you." And, hey, man, you know what? I mean, the first week of the year is kind of slow for us. I'm ready to start drinking, especially after the holiday season here. All that work, and not enough drinking. That's what I really like about this job, being able to taste the world's greatest wines. And it's always glad to see a familiar face like the folks from Duckhorn Winery and Decoy and Migration. These have become standalone brands in their own right. It's great to see all the success that they've had. And over the years, you know, Dan no longer owns the winery, but he's probably out there doing some spokesman work for them still in his 70s, but we've had some great times with him through the years. And, you know, the philosophy at the winery, still the same, still focused on making great wines. And this Migration has become its own standalone brand. It started out as a second label to Goldeneye, and Neil Bernardi's now in charge, and they still make it at a custom crush facility, but they have bought a new facility in Hopland. It's on the horizon, so this will have its own winemaking facility soon. And the real art behind making these wines is sourcing the grapes and coming out with a consistent product every year. And let me tell you, these 2012 vintage wines are excellent. We started out the tasting with the 2012 Migration Chardonnay. This wine is very lush, lovely ripe and peach and apple fruit here, pears, showing some lovely butter toast, some vanilla spice, very California style. 2012 looks to be an outstanding vintage from Northern California here. Lush and creamy on the tongue with layers of that ripe tropical fruit, really balanced. Lovely, smoothie, creamy texture here, and nice bright acidity, though, cleaning things up and balancing things out. A nice note of toasty oak spice, that vanilla, and lovely balance. It's still a relatively small brand, around 10,000 cases or less, with both the Pinot and the Chardonnay. The 2012 Pinot Noir, this is really lovely Pinot Noir, a lot of juicy fruits, but lovely balance and zesty to this wine as well. A lot of that red cherry and raspberry fruit showing up on the nose, some pretty exotic spices, some floral notes, and like smoky note coming out as this wine opens up. And on the second day, really nice complexity in both of these wines. And even though it's got a lot of fruit, this wine, like I said, nice balance, a nice zestiness to the finish, and a lovely texture of this one. One of the things we love about Pinot Noir, that smooth, silky texture you have here, and those exotic spices and floral notes showing through the finish. A little bit of that cola spice that you get from wines from the Russian River Valley. Excellent juice at around $30. And then the Decoy Zinfandel, not my favorite varietal in the world, but you know, these guys at Duckhorn make a pretty balanced wine. David Marchese was the guy that was in charge of Decoy, but now it's got its own winemaker dedicated to this brand, Don Laborde. And these wines are very good, very consistent. They bought a lot of vineyards. Now most of the brands are over in Sonoma. They just make the Napa Red. And you get a lovely brambliness to Zinfandel, some raspberry fruit, some underbrush, some white pepper spice here showing up. A good amount of that zesty red berry fruit showing on the palate with pretty floral notes and that underbrush and touch of brown spice showing on the finish, along with a little tobacco. A nicely balanced Zin, not over the top, not too alcoholic. Like I said, you know, Zinfandel for me is a grape you need to drink young. It doesn't really develop bottle bouquet with years in the bottle. So drink this one up, a very good example of this varietal. The next thing on the horizon for this group, they just brought 20 acres on Red Mountain. You're going to see some Washington State juice coming out of the Duckhorn Wine Company. That's all for now. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying, remember, always drink the good stuff first.